Welcome to Inside the Park on FSPN, the weekly recap show for Miami Dade and Broward high school baseball. I'm Uncle Muggs, and alongside me, as always, is none other than Anthony and Chappy Castillo.
My man Muggs. You know what today is, right, buddy?
It's St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a luck of the Irish type of week.
Everybody's got lucky this week. There were some very, very lucky teams out there. I can't wait to see what you have for us this week. But first, let's pay some bills. Today's show is brought to us by our good friends at Florida State Tentless Termite Treatment. You can forget about the hassle of tenting or evacuating your home. The tentless treatment means no disruption of your life. Florida State Tentless Solution is eco-friendly, pet-friendly, and safe for your family. It targets termites right where they live, deep inside of your home. Call Florida State today and get your free inspection. They've been keeping Florida homes safe for over 25 years. Call 305-669-9292 or visit their website at www.woodtermite.com and mention that you heard the ad on Inside the Park and receive an extra 10% discount. Well, Chappie, it's time for the first pitch player profile. What do you have for us this week?
All right, my brother Muggs, we had some incredible talent this week, so we're going to start off in West Kendall, where we were led by two seniors. The Varela Vipers played the Monsignor Pace Spartans, and these two captains are leaned on heavily to make an impact throughout their season. First off is Luis Sosa, strong, stout, left-handed hitter, and the other one is Alejandro Ponte, another strong left-handed hitter with a lot of leverage in his swing. We really like the Varela Vipers, and like I said before, I'm going to punch their ticket into a regional qualifier. You're hearing this from me. I'm going to probably be saying this countless of times. Now let's look over to the 144 boys, as they were led by Brian Martinez. Brian Martinez is an infielder who has great hands, and he possesses a lot of poolside pop. First pitch advisory guy. He should be committed very, very, very soon. Let's move on over to Gulliver as another pair of teammates, as they had an incredible week. Chase Churn and the Gulliver Prep Raiders got a much-needed dub and on the win column. A class of 2026 with a lot of pop, and he led his charge this week with a bomb. A lot of tools to advance into the next level. His teammate, Omar Falcone, a catcher outfielder, lean, with a great frame and projectable. He hit a bomb as well, and he led the charge, going with another double and showing off his bat-to-ball skills. We're going to keep our attention in West Kendall with the Archbishop Coleman Carroll Bulldogs. They were led this week by Damian Espinales. Espinales, who also hit a home run, a double, and had a base hit this week, led the charge on the offensive category and on offensive stats for the Archbishop Coleman Carroll Bulldogs. A class of 2026 looking to make an impact in the next level. Really looking forward for the Coleman Carroll Bulldogs as they move forward into the season. We want to congratulate Southwest as they beat my alumni at Ferguson, at Martins Park, at Lone Depot. A great game with great atmosphere, and it was just an amazing atmosphere.
Wow, Chappie, Marlins Park, what an experience that must have been for those players. You know, I played once at Bobby Maduro a couple times, and I can't imagine what it's like to play in a big league park. And again, great videos, my man. You're killing it, and I'm hearing it from the people. They're liking the segment. They really like your segment.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Muggsy. Now it's time for the weekly recap. And what do you have for us this week on the 5th week of the season?
Yes, sir. The weekly recap. It's where we go over the teams and the weekly scores on games that took place in Miami-Dade and Broward County.
Well, this week we had some very, very lucky teams, and they walked away with some last-inning drama and wins, and some not-so-lucky teams who got their hearts broken. Muggs, what do you have for us this week in this week's recap? My guy, tú estás quemado, bro.
What?
Se te fue el avión. Ya, se te fue el avión. Se te fue el avión completo.
Pablo, you said lucky. It's St. Patrick's Day. Today being St. Patrick's Day, I thought we could talk about some teams that needed a little luck of the Irish to win. Many, many teams out there this week found themselves down to their last at-bat or needing to hang on to win. But all of them needed some magic. They needed some Irish luck. Let's start with a team that would not only need all the luck in the world, but they would need a flat-out miracle to win. On Monday at FIU Stadium at 10 o'clock in the morning, the Mater Academy Lions took on the Coahuila Bulldogs. The Dogs were fresh off of the upset of the year so far, beating the undefeated Miami Springs Hawks on Thursday 3-1. The Dogs had another chance for a consecutive upset as they put 5 runs up in the first inning on the unlucky Mater Lions. The Lions managed to scratch out 3 runs and make it 6-3 heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. Y estaban sacando las velitas de Mater. And the Lions, with 2 runners on, sent up to bat the lucky lefty, the Irishman himself, Brian O'Brien Arrieta.
Muggs, I'm sorry to tell you that Arrieta is not an Irish name.
Yeah, but Brian is very, very Irish. Brian O'Brien launched a 3-run home run into a pot of gold on the other side of the fence at FIU Stadiums. The Lucky Lions took the lead by putting up 5 in the bottom of the 5th, and the game was 8-6 heading into the top of the 7th. Y estaban ganando los Matter. Solo faltaba sacar 3 outs y ya ganaron. Coahuila was down to their final 3 outs, and luck have it, they would find it in a 4-leaf clover inning, scoring 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning to snatch the lead back from the Lions 10-9. The Lions, the home team, now down by 1, and with 1 out in the 7th, they sent up to bat another Irishman, Brian O'Brien Fernandez. And the lucky lefty delivered with a base hit. And with a walked batter and a hit batter later, it loaded the bases for the Lions and their leadoff batter, Iker Nogueira. Nogueira, who is not Irish, by the way.
Everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Iker belted a shot high and deep like a rainbow over the outfield that was playing in, and Nogueira gave the Lions a pot of gold and a walk-off win over the Bulldogs. Mira, some lucky dust for you guys. And on Friday night on the ESPN game, the Mater Academy Lions needed more walk-off luck as they defeated the Pembroke Pines Charter Jaguars. And it was Nogueira once again with the walk-off heroics. That's twice in 1 week that the Lions needed luck of the Irish to win. And both Rafael Govin and Jacob Amador had pinch hits in the bottom of the 7th in that game.
Que suerte tiene Humberto.
Mira, Humberto, la suerte de los
They never
Irish
play
luck
any
for
games
you,
that are
Humberto.
close. You see that game right here on FSPN. And if your heart can stand it, watch this game, please.
Here's a team that should play every year on St. Patrick's Day. It's the JCB Thunder. The Thunder are led by their head coach, Carlos Garcia, who is half Irish.
No, he's not.
Maybe?
No, I know Carlos. He's not.
Okay, then maybe he should fill out an application to be Irish, because on Monday, he took his Thunder down to Wacheta to face the mighty 9-1 Columbus Explorers led by their head coach, Joe Weber, who I'm willing to bet that is Irish. The Thunder put a pair on the board in the top half of the first inning on the Explorers starter, Matthew Rios. It wasn't until the bottom of the 4th that Columbus managed to squeak out 1 run, and that's the way it stayed, 2-1 until the top of the 7th inning. The Thunder put up another 2, making it 4-1, and they were just 3 outs away from pulling out the upset in Westchester. Thunder starter Daniel Marcus, that was marvelous through 5, just giving up 1 and walked only 1, gave the ball to Jan Cartaya to put the lid on the upset. Cartaya gave up 1 run, and let's take a look at that home run that Brandon Santiso hit in that game. The Thunder will now officially change the color of their uniforms to green, and they will be called the Leprechauns. By the way, your boy Herrera over there?
Yeah, my boy Jose Herrera.
2 ribbies, 2 hits, and a double. Congrats to the Thunder, you guys, and I love it when David beats Goliath. So here's some lucky dust for you guys at JCB.
My boy Carlos Garcia. I told you.
On Wednesday, the Thunder doubled down on their newfound luck and faced Dr. Kropp's Lightning, and they were down 4-3 at home. The Thunder were able to get 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning and hold on to a come-from-behind victory over Kropp 5-4. And on Friday, the JCB Thunder beat Miami Christian 3-0.
The Thunder have won 4 in a row and improved to 9-4 on the season. They play at Miami Beach and Westminster next week.
On Wednesday, the Columbus Explorers hosted the sometimes lucky, sometimes not so lucky Coahuila Bulldogs. The Bulldogs would need to reach deep down inside the pot of luck and ask for an Irish wish to be granted. The Dogs scored 1 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th to hand the Explorers the second consecutive upset. Mas magic lucky dust for you guys.
Columbus shut out Mo Spartans Friday 4-0, and they have Matter Lakes next week.
Other teams that won their games by one run were the Bucks, the Lucky Bucks of South Dade, and their luck came at the hands of the Gulliver Prep Raiders. On Monday, the Lucky Bucks managed to get 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to erase a 6-8 deficit and walked it off against the winless Raiders. A little lucky dust for you. And on Wednesday, the Bucks would need to reach deep inside the pot of luck one more time, this time against the Gables Cavaliers. They looked to Jojo El Mago Lluveras to perform a perfect suicide squeeze in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Bucks walked it off for the dub. Here's some more lucky dust for you, Omar.
Now, that's some great coaching right there. What a call by head coach Omar Baldo. Now, the Bucks beat the Sunset Knights 6-4 on Friday night. The Bucks have won 3 in a row. Now, Muggs, that lucky dust seems to be working. Let's get me some of that.
Here you go. You want a little lucky?
Yeah.
Here you go. Lucky dust. Luck was surely on the side of the I Matter Charter Knights on Monday when the Knights scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning to defeat the Somerset Academy Panthers 7-6. So here you go, Livan. A little bit of lucky dust for you too. And on Wednesday, the Knights were able to get 2 in the bottom of the 7th to get past the Keysgate Charter Knights 5-4.
Qué suerte tiene Iván. I love you, Miami.
There's a little bit of luck in Broward as well, Chappie. And the Pinecrest Academy Panthers needed every bit of it. They also needed extra innings to defeat the West Boca Bulls. The Panthers scored 1 in the top of the 9th and held on to beat Jerry Albert's Bulls 5-4. Max McCauley, who for sure is Irish, had 2 hits in that one.
My dude.
Max.
My dude. Can we please stop with the...
Everybody's Irish. Keeping it up north, the Cowboys of Cooper City scored 2 in the top of the 9th to defeat the Western Wildcats 4-2 on the road. And it was the lucky lad, none other than Kevin McCormick, who with that name is 110% Irish.
My brother, can I hear the last name one more time?
McCormick. McCormick threw 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs and striking out 5 Wildcats to earn the victory for the Cowboys. The lucky Flanagan Falcons, and you can't get any more Irish than Flanagan. The Falcons needed 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to break open a 3-3 tie to defeat the South Broward Bulldogs 5-3, and it was Hayden Welsh, who may be Irish. Welsh pitched the last 3 innings for the Falcons to preserve the win 5-3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Welsh is probably Irish.
No luck needed here. The Cavalry Christian Academy Eagles came down to beat the Miami Christian Victors 9-6. And on Tuesday, the Victors could have just walked all over to Belém to play the Wolverines. And it was the streaky Wolverines that shut out the Victors 5-0. On Friday, the Wolverines played the Westminster Christian Warriors. And it was the Warriors that had the luck of the Irish, scoring 2 runs in the top of the 9th for a come-from-behind victory 2-1 over Belém. So here's some lucky dust for you guys over there, Emil.
So Emil, Jesse, and Miami Christian Chris Squadra, these 3 teams have been struggling, yet trying to get back on the page and trying to turn the tide.
On Wednesday's FSPN game, it was a rivalry game between the Palmetto Panthers and the home team, the Braddock Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have won 4 of the last 5 against the Panthers, and on Wednesday, the Dogs got a little scare from the Panthers. They were down 6-8 going into the bottom of the 4th. Pero Chapi, cuando hicieron así los bates, they blew it up. It was boom, there it is style. The Dogs put up 8. And Papa, when I tell you they put on a hitting clinic, they got 8 hits in 1 inning. Adam Hernandez and George Gonzalez, not Fernandez, they each had 2 hits in just 1 inning. The duo combined for a total of 8 hits in that game, scoring 7 runs, including a 2-run bye bomba by Gonzalez. Sebastian Yamoses and Marcelo Torres both lost baseballs for the Dogs. Torres also had 4 hits, and Marcelo hit one so far that it took one of the JV players 10 minutes to find the ball. End result, Dogs 18, Palmetto Panthers 8. Braddock, though, did receive a penalty flag at the end of the game for scoring too many runs. So I got a flag for you, Braddock.
So between the flag, Ay, Dios mío.
On Friday, the Dogs played the True North Titans in what was to be a midterm exam for both teams. A win by the Dogs meant that they would have a seat at the head of the table of Dade County's finest, and a win for True North would make them pull up a chair to the table as well. It was the Titans that came out hot, scoring 3 in the first inning and handed Braddock their second loss of the season, 8-5.
This definitely was, in my opinion, a top rivalry game. They might not be in the same district, but I know that Adrian Nieto and Harold Martinez, they always like their ball clubs to compete against each other in tight intensity games.
Here's a little bit for you, Nieto, just in case. Just in case. Thursday's FSPN game, Lo Fuimos Pa La Playa. Actually, Miami Beach came to Westchester to face Mandy and the Southwest Eagles. The Eagles were fresh off of a 4-1 victory over the Varela Vipers on Wednesday. The Vipers sent Anthony Harvey to the mound with the hopes of a victory for Varela. Mandy's Eagles put up 3 in the bottom of the third, and with some great base running and some luck as well. No luck needed from the Eagles' ace, Euclides Alvarez, that threw a complete game, recording 4 strikeouts and allowing just 1 run. Let's go back to Thursday's game against Miami Beach, a game that you can watch right here on FSPN. The High Tides, that were 6-6 on the season, were looking to get above 500 at the expense of the Eagles, but Mandy sent the senior right-hander to the mound, Caleb Hernandez, and the Eagles scored 3 and were cruising 3-0 going into the 6th inning. When Charlie's High Tide said, wait, here are 3 runs of our own, and he tied the game at 3-3. And in the bottom of the 6th, Mandy's high-flying Eagles scored 3, and that's how it ended, 6-3 in favor of the Eagles.
Oris Joe Valdez had 2 hits, 2 RBIs in that one. The Eagles have won 4 in a row. Mandy Pelaez has him dialed in right now, and Southwest plays Belen on Saturday. It's a must-watch game and a must-win game for both opponents.
On Tuesday, the state champs, the North Broward Prep Eagles, were on the road to take on the mighty Jupiter Warriors, who after starting the season 1-2 have peeled off 8 in a row. And despite 4 hits by the Eagles' Kieran O'Neill, who is definitely Irish, the Eagles lost to Jupiter 4-3. He's definitely Irish. The Douglas Eagles, led by their head coach, Todd Fitzgerald. Guess where he's from? That's right, 100% Irish.
He's not Irish.
He's Irish. The Eagles have won 10 in a row, the most recent 15-7, beating the defending state champs, the Cardinal Gibbons Chiefs.
The Eagles have a heavyweight matchup on March 25th when they travel up to Tampa and take the Jesuit Tigers. The only 2 losses that Tampa Jesuit have this year have come from the hands of Broward County teams of Calvary Christian and St. Thomas Aquinas.
Briggy's Florida Christian Patriots traveled north to face the mighty Spartans of Pace. The Patriots sent the senior right-hander to the mound, Steven Gonzalez, in hopes that they would get the same performance that Gonzalez had against Mater Academy. Pace sent their senior to the bump in the likes of Aiden Rivero. It was the Spartans that put up 4 runs in the first inning, and that's all they would need, defeating the Patriots 9-3. Aiden Rivero threw 6 innings to earn the victory for the Spartans. Chappie, this was great to see Rivero pitch, and I mean really pitch. Rivero only had 4 strikeouts, but 0 walks, so he had to be crafty and pitch to contact. And in this day and age where everybody's throwing 90, 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, it was good to see a real pitcher on the mound.
Yeah, it's always great to see pitchability amongst young pitchers. It's kind of lacking amongst the game.
The next day, the Pace Spartans traveled north to take on Espinosa's Lucky Flanagan Falcons. The Pace Spartans would need 3 in the top of the 6th to hold off the Falcons. Here's a little bit of lucky dust for you over there, Coach Lyman. The Spartans played Varela on Thursday and lost to the Vipers 5-1. And on Friday night, Briggy's Patriots had to reach down to the pot of luck themselves. And despite out-hitting Cohia 15-7, they would have to ask the Lucky Leprechaun for 1 run in the top of the 8th and hold on to beat Cohia 3-2.
The Patriots and my boy Briggy improved to 8-5 on the season, and they play at Southridge tonight in a game that you can see right here on FSPN.
Here you go, Briggies. A little bit of luck for you, too. On Thursday, the Antonio Gonzalez-led Coral Gables Cavaliers needed 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to get past Somerset Academy. Here's a little bit of magic. Lucky dust for you, Gonzalez. Also on Thursday, the Gulliver Prep Raiders snapped their 10-game losing streak with a 3-1 win over the Keysgate Charter Knights. And this for you, Arby. A little bit more luck for you and more luck for you.
Gulliver will play on Monday against Toycoy Creek. At home in a game that you can watch right here on FSPN. Former Gables and Miami Springs head coach Philip Weiser brings his Toros down from Jacksonville to play 3 Dade County teams.
The LaSalle Royal Lions scored 2 in the bottom of the 5th and held on to shut out the Archbishop Carroll Bulldogs 2-0. On Wednesday, the Miami Springs Golden Hawks were anxious to get back on the field and prove that they are the team to beat in Dade County. The previously undefeated Hawks, who had lost their first game of the season to Cohia last Friday, sent out their ace Kevin Roque to the bump against Mater Academy. Roque no-no'd the Mater Lakes with a complete game no-hitter and recorded 8 croquetas to go along with that CG. The next day, Fanshaw's Hawks shut out JJ's American High Patriots 13-0. And if I had a flag right now, I would throw it at the Hawks for scoring too many runs on my boy JJ. Here's one right here, left over from last week.
Yeah, the bakery was open over there with Kevin Roque's 8 croquetas. Miami Springs plays Belen on Tuesday and the Tocoy Creek Toros on Wednesday.
Friday was a busy night for games. Wait, hold on, bro. I can't read with these things, man. Here. Give these back to Elton John. Friday night was a busy night for games. The San Brendan Sabres went up to face the Spanish River Sharks and shut out the Sharks 7-0. The Sabres, who are 2-1 this week, beating Coral Gables 6-2 at Alex Rodriguez Field on Monday, and our boy John Perez got the win for the Sabres in that one. The next day, San Brendan's lost to Schoolhouse Prep 5-2.
I'm just really happy I got the glasses on.
Wow, what a week, Chappie. Anything you want to add?
I feel like I'm Irish.
Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, so here's a little bit of Irish lucky dust for those of you who are going to need it next week. And stay tuned. We're going to have the Dade County Top 12 list coming up next. We'll be right back right after this.
I'm Irish.
Irish. Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Park, the weekly recap show for Miami Dade and Broward High School baseball. And now it's time for the top 12 list. Both Chappie and myself are going to reveal our list of top 12 teams in Dade County. And personally, Chappie, I don't like doing lists because there's always a team that feels left out. But I'm basing my list on strength of schedule and record.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of go on based off of the same strength of schedule and record, but also I'm going to go based off of roster and depth and talent of each roster and how I feel each team falls in the power rankings. And again, this list is not for sure. It's just what the teams have done so far throughout these 5 weeks. This list can change. Teams can come in and out.
That's the great part about these lists. And every week they're going to be able to change.
They're going to change, yeah.
Let's get started at number 12. I have the Westminster Warriors. The Warriors are 7-5, and they played some very good teams. In fact, every team they faced has a 500 or better record, and just Friday they squeaked out a victory over Beleng, so they a legit number 12. At number 11, I have the Key West Conchs, and I know they're not in Dade County, but we have to include them because they are very relevant in what's going on in high school baseball, and because I like those guys over there. Now, 6 through 10 on my list, you can almost put in any order you want, and I'm okay with it. And the good thing about these lists that they can change from week to week, but these 5 teams, any of these teams can win at any time, and they all play against good competition. So 10 is Felix Varela, 9 is Miami Christian, 8 is Florida Christian, 7 is San Brendan's, and 6 is Pace. But if you put Pace at 10 and Varela at 6 and Miami Christian, you can change those. I'm okay with any of that. At number 5, I have the Braddock Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs have 4 seniors on that team that absolutely rip the cover off the ball. They play loose, and nobody has more fun than the 144 boys. And even though they lost at home to True North on Friday, the Dogs will be in the mix when it's time. At number 4, I have the Doral Firebirds. The Redbirds may not have the strongest schedule in the world, but they have great pitching, great hitting, and they play to their home field advantage. At number 3, I have the True North Titans, and their strength of schedule is what sets them apart. They have several state champs and state runner-ups on the schedule, and the win over Braddock puts them in a solid number 3. At number 2 are the Columbus Explorers, and if we had made this list just a week ago, I would have had them at number 1. But after a couple chinks in the armor, the Explorers showed that they're not only beatable, but they lost at home on sacred ground, and you can't do that and be number 1. And my number 1 is the Miami Springs Golden Hawks. They not only have a great record, but they've pulled out some good wins on the road in places where it's not easy to win, like Southwest and St. Brendan's. My honorable mentions are the JCB Thunder, the Cohia Bulldogs, and those Mater Academy Lions. Either one of those teams can make the top 12, and that's my list, Chappie. What does yours look like?
I loved your list. I love how you included a lot of premier programs and well-coached programs, teams that have beaten over 500 ball clubs. So my list is very similar, just in a different order. I'd rather start with my top 5 and work my way down, because as you work your way down, the teams on the list, as you work on your way down, have the opportunity to work their way up in the list or completely be out of the list. So my top 5. We're going to go with Miami Springs at 1, and I'm going to put Doral Prep at 2, only because of Ralph Suarez, his preparation, being a state champion finalist, and what it takes to have to beat Doral Prep at home. It's one of those things that you gotta go through. It's a gauntlet. True North at 3, Columbus at 4, and Braddock at 5 to round out my top 5. Now, my top 5 could have been in and out with several teams, but I'm gonna put Varela at 6, Key West at 7. I'm gonna have Westminster at 8, Southwest at 9, and at 10, sneaking in the top 10 after 2 big-time wins for me, is JCB Thunder.
Wow, well deserved. I like that pick.
Yeah. So at 11, we're gonna have Belen, who just had some premier wins, and they're getting right back in the thick of it. I'm gonna have Florida Christian at 12. I'm gonna have Monsignor Pace at 13, Miami Christian at 14, and St. Brendan rounding out my top 15. Now, I do have 2 teams on the outside looking in, Mater Academy and Southridge. Both those teams have played really tough competition. Their records might not have significant meaning because they're not, 11-3 or 8-7, 8-4 or anything like that. But they've played a really, really strong strength of schedules, and they've beaten some quality teams, been in the thick of it, and they've lost some heartbreakers. So to me, Mater Academy and Southridge outside looking in, you should definitely look out for those teams.
Solid list. Hey, I respect it. I respect every one of those picks. And folks, that's going to be our show for today. We don't have a coach's corner because we ran a little long with this segment, and because we have to head out. We have a game tonight between Florida Christian. They take on the Southridge Spartans later tonight, so we have to pack up our gear and get going down there. So please, everyone, go out this week. The weather's been really nice. Watch some games. These teams are very, very good, and there's tons of talent out here in Miami Dade and Broward. Go support your local high school athletics, and remember to subscribe and follow us on Instagram. We still have over 20 games left on the FSPN schedule, and thank you for watching. On behalf of my co-host, Chappie Castillo, this is Uncle Mug saying so long, and we'll see you next Sunday inside the park.